So last week, I gave you 15 through 11 of the top NXT superstars I want to see show up in the Royal Rumble. This week, I'm breaking down 10 through 6, starting with, at number 10, Julia. Now, I'll be real honest with you. This feels like a little bit of an obligation. I did watch NXT last night. And so I did see my first kind of real kind of representation of what Julia is. I think she's good. She has a good look. Everything kind of checks out. But I think her being number 10 on this list feels a little bit more like how good everybody tells me she is versus how much I believe I'd be excited to see her. I think I'll be excited if she shows up. I think if she shows up at the Royal Rumble, I'd be excited. But I think it'd be more excitement for everybody else than it is excitement for me. So that's why she hits number 10. At number 9, I have Jada Parker. And where Julia felt like an obligation, Jada Parker feels like a no-brainer to me. She has main roster written all over her. Now, I know she got a little bit of some strange publicity this last week, and WWE might be keen to keep her off of a show with Jey Uso, but I personally wouldn't mind seeing her enter the Royal Rumble. I think she creates some interesting dynamics, size-wise, attitude-wise, look-wise. I think she'll threaten a lot of people's spot if she shows up at the Royal Rumble. At number 8, I have Lexus King. And I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again this week. I'm a sucker for a good gimmick. And he's got a look to him, Lexus King. And his gimmick, I like what they're kind of running in NXT. I've been paying attention to Lexus King and what's going on to him in NXT because he's a guy I actually liked in AEW. I don't know what it was. I don't know why I took an affinity to his character and to who he was, but I've actually kind of liked him and I've followed his stories into NXT. So I think he's a guy that could add some comic relief or just a spark to the Royal Rumble. Like I said, his look alone is enough that if someone turns it on and they've never seen Lexus King, they're just going to go, who the hell is that guy? I like that guy. At number 7, I have I was going to say Ego. All Ego. It's Ethan Page. I have Ethan Page. After calling out John Cena, this makes sense. Have him show up. This is the starting point of what I believe will be one of the first feuds that John Cena gets into on his return tour. I think Ethan Page makes sense. Cena's going to need a couple guys to step on, to get going, to kind of get back in rhythm. He's going to need a couple guys that he can kind of, little punching bags. And that is not meant to be a shot against Ethan Page by any means, because I think Ethan Page extremely good. But John Cena is going to need some warm-up, tune-up type situations. And so I think he's a guy that could benefit from a Cena rub, no Diddy. But I think that, seeing him and John Cena square up in the Royal Rumble would be fun. And then number 6, I have Roxanne. And I know this is blasphemy to a lot of people, right? A lot of people, she'd be top 5. But to me, based on her interactions with Bayley, I think this is a lock. I think that more than likely Roxanne's in the Royal Rumble. I could have been kind of deceitful and moved her down the list just based on being able to say that I'm right. But the reality is, I don't find Roxy that interesting. I'm not that excited. I get the value that she adds, and maybe she'll grow on me over time, but she's not top 5 excitement for me. So next week, I'll drop the top 5 people that I'm interested in seeing come from NXT to the main roster for the Royal Rumble. Make sure to check that out.